Hi, my name is Trisha Guzman. I'm currently taking Professor Thomas's ISOM 424 capstone course at the spring of 2017. My master lab topic is how to upload HTML CSS files using Filezilla on a Mac. The purpose of this video is because I'm currently taking a web development course for Professor Me called ISOM 244. If you're taking this web development course, this is actually the most essential part of the class because you'll be using Filezilla to submit your homework throughout the semester. There are 3 parts to this video. The first part will be covering what is an FTP, and you'll find out why FTP is essential to web developers. In the second part, I'm going to demonstrate how to install and configure Filezilla on your Mac computer, and I'm focusing only on Mac because first, I am using a Mac, and second is because I believe several people encountered a little trouble in terms of downloading Filezilla on their Mac computers, because in the class we do cover how to install Filezilla on Windows. There was a bit more straightforward when installing and configuring. The third part will include a set of instructions provided by Professor Me in uploading your homework using Filezilla. Here we'll test run uploading an HTML and CSS file. Also, we'll see how you could override updated files and know the importance of uploading all objects used in the HTML and CSS script. What is an FTP? FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and as the name states, it is a way to transfer files between networked computers. An FTP server offers access to a directory, and then the FTP client allows users to download and upload files. This is an essential tool for web developers because it's a tool used in order to create a functioning website. Using an FTP serves as a way to transfer and store information from your computer on the server where the website is hosted. This means you have access to the FTP server. You can manipulate and upload and download files from the server itself. The second part of this video is how to install and configure Filezilla on your Mac. First, we'll take a look at the local site and we'll figure out how to set your default local directory. The first step is to go to filezillaproject.org. Before you get into this page, it will say quick download links. Download Filezilla Client for all platforms. And here is Mac OS X. Note it does say requires OS times 10.7 or newer, and the version of my Mac is Mac OS Sierra version 10.12. So we'll download that one. And here it is. Filezilla installer. So you click open. So here it says set my home page default search and new tab to Yahoo on Safari, Firefox, and Google Chrome. If you select this and click next, your browser will be restarted and your search settings will be changed. You can change your settings back manually anytime. So for me, this will be a no thanks, but up to you if you want to set your home page default search into a new tab to Yahoo on Safari, Firefox, and Google Chrome. So it's installing. Finally, the installation was successful. So we open up Filezilla, and this is how it should look like. On your left is the local site, and the right is a remote site. Note that we are not connected just yet to a server just yet, but Professor Me does send out information via Blackboard on how to log into your web server. And so here's the web document. You open up Filezilla again, and the information is right here. Notice it says host 1.suffolkisom.org. Your user would be student and then 01, but again he gives you more information about that, and enter the password. And so on your Filezilla, put 1.suffolkisom.org. In my case, I am student 13 for the semester, and our given password is that. And if you're very forgetful, just put remember passwords. And now we are connecting to 1.suffolkisom.org. And I clicked OK. We are now connected to the host 1.suffolkisom.org, and now that I am in the middle of my semester, I've already created folders here on the remote site and uploaded my HTML and CSS files. However, here on the local site, you'll see that you have to navigate through a series of files before you could get into your destination of where you store your homework. And so in my case, I have to go to desktop, Suffolk, and I store my homeworks through Spring 17 and all that. So before I get further into navigating through my sites, I want to set a default local site. So first you go to File, Site Manager, you click on Advanced, and you click Browse under Default Local Directory. And again, the path would be Suffolk, Spring 17, ISOM 244, and you can see that I put my assignments up here. And so I click Open when I click on ISOM 244, and you click Connect. And now you will see on the local site that my default is user and desktop Suffolk, Spring 17, and ISOM 244. The last part of this video is how to upload your HTML and CSS files successfully. I'll also talk about overriding the existing uploaded files on your remote site and updating them, and also making sure to include all objects used in your HTML and CSS script whenever you upload. Now we're going to upload an HTML and CSS file onto our Filezilla, and actually other objects that we use within the HTML and CSS files to successfully create a website. Here I'm using Unit F as an example, which was our latest homework, and I'm using this because in our revision.css we're actually sourcing a specific font package and also using specific images, which is right here. And we actually do that for index.html as well. And we can find those images within the folder under ISOM 244, assignment 4 in my case, and images, and we can see that books.jpg and revision.gif, which we use here, is right on that folder. And so if we go on our Filezilla, again, ISOM 244 is already set as our default local site, so now we just go to assignment 4, and we'll see that the fonts, images, scripts are already in there, as well as the index.html and revision.css that I am working on brackets. So just for this tutorial, we'll pretend that assignment 4 isn't unit F, and so we'll pretend that it is unit X. On your remote site, you create a new directory or a new folder called unit X, and within that unit X folder, as directed again by Professor Me, we have to create another folder called VW. Make sure you go into the VW folder and upload everything from assignment 4 and drag it on over inside the VW folder. Now that we've successfully transferred over all these files from our local site to our remote site, we want to figure out if we've successfully uploaded these files and actually successfully created a website. Again, our instructor, Professor Me, provided us information on how to access a successfully uploaded work on the browser. In our case, we would just go to our browser and type in http://1.suffolkisom.org, which is our host name. My username is student13 or whatever your student number would be. Unit X is the folder that we just created, and again, the path would be to create a folder within the Unit X folder called VW. And voila, we have our website. So some students may tend to neglect this step of including all objects from the folder and uploading them over to the remote site. And that's probably because when we test index.html on our computer and click on that without having to go through our FTP host, we will see that it works perfectly fine. However, it does say on our browser that it is coming from our local site of user, my computer, the folders, and the assignment itself. But in Unit D, it was a little more simple and we only had to upload index.html. Of course, you only work on the basic steps of using HTML and CSS without images or font packages in the beginning. In reality, we have to include where our images and font packages are coming from in order for our CSS and HTML to recognize the path that you included in your text. So again, here on index.html, we source images/revision.gif, and in revision.css, we source images/books.jpg. And so if we look at our unit X in our VW file and delete the packages that come with the image and the font, and we head on over to look up the unit X and VW on the FTP host, we will see that only the CSS and the HTML worked, but it doesn't have any of the font or images that we specified. So to sum up, we are able to install and configure Filezilla on Mac. We learned more about the general idea of FTP and why it's important to web developers, and we saw this through an example from my web application development class where we wrote texts through brackets and created an HTML and CSS files and essentially created a website. Thank you for watching.